It's time for your weekend sports update. I'm Kyle Smith. As we enter the month of June, we will continue to talk about the Madhouse on Madison. Yes, that's right. The Chicago Blackhawks are headed to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Blackhawks defeated the Anaheim Ducks 5-3 on Saturday in a do-or-die Game 7, which means the Hawks are headed back to their third Stanley Cup Final since 2010. The Hawks actually trailed the Ducks 3-2 in the Western Conference Finals, but the Blackhawks offense was unstoppable in Game 6 and 7. The Blackhawks scored 5 goals in Game 6 in Chicago and 5 goals in Game 7 on the road in Anaheim. When it comes to the Anaheim Ducks, head coach Bruce Boudreau must be disappointed. By losing Game 7 to the Blackhawks, Bruce Boudreau becomes the first head coach in NHL history to lose Game 7 6 times. And he's the only head coach in NHL history to lose a Game 7 in 3 consecutive seasons. The mighty Blackhawks will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Lightning are playing in their first Stanley Cup Final since 2004, thanks to a 2-0 Game 7 victory over the Rangers. The Lightning are led by goaltender Ben Bishop, who had 2 shutouts in that Eastern Conference Finals victory over the Rangers. The Eastern Conference champions have a lot of talented young forwards, which include Andre Palat and Tyler Johnson. The Lightning will have home ice advantage for the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 1 for the Stanley Cup Finals is in Tampa on Wednesday night. What's a guy have to do to get some run support around here? That might be what Jose Quintana is saying in the White Sox locker room, as his teammates are really struggling to help him out on the mound. The White Sox have lost 7 games that Quintana has started this season, but the offense for the Southsider only scored a total of 9 runs in those 7 ball games. Quintana's latest defeat comes on Saturday, where the talented southpaw went 6 1/3 innings, giving up only 1 earned run and striking out 7. Jose Quintana is 2-6 on the year with a 4.33 ERA. Quintana is having trouble getting support from his teammates, but LeBron James is certainly getting some help from his teammates on the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers come into the NBA Finals after sweeping the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals. But let's go back to LeBron's teammates. Kevin Love might be out for the rest of the year, but J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson have really stepped it up in Love's absence in the postseason. Smith is shooting approximately 46% from the field, and Tristan Thompson is averaging 4 offensive rebounds per game. The Cavaliers will face off against the Golden State Warriors, and the Warriors hold home court advantage in the series. The Warriors are led by MVP Stephen Curry, although let's not forget about his backcourt mate, Klay Thompson. The talented young shooting guard is shooting over 42% from beyond the three-point arc, and he's averaging over 19 points per game in the postseason. Game 1 of the NBA Finals takes place at the Oracle Arena on Thursday night. Now let's switch gears back to baseball, where our next story takes us to Cubs manager Joe Maddon. The topic of debate continues to rage on in Major League Baseball about whether or not the National League should adopt the designated hitter rule. When asked what Maddon thinks about the starting pitcher also being a part of the everyday lineup, he responded, quote, "I've always thought I liked having the pitcher to bat, and I do. The DH is a really difficult position to acquire, a really good one. It's normally a really expensive position, and there's not many guys that could sit around for a half hour or whatever and give you a really good at-bat on a nightly basis. The topic of adding a DH in the National League will most likely be talked about in the offseason during the winter meetings. Cardinals all-star starting pitcher Adam Wainwright suffered a season-ending left Achilles injury earlier this season while at the plate against the Brewers." And finally, let's congratulate the Chicago Blitz on advancing to the American Indoor Football League Championship game. The Blitz took on their arch-rival, the Saginaw Sting, last Saturday night in Saginaw. After going through a physical first half where the Blitz only led 35-32 at halftime, Coach Mike Oliver and the Blitz took it to the Sting in the second half. Boobie Miles had 2 rushing touchdowns in that second half, which included a beautiful touchdown run on 4th down. The Blitz will take on the York Capitals in the title game. The title game will be at York Ice Arena, as the Capitals have been dominant all season in the AIF. York is 6-0 on the season when they take on the upstart Blitz in the final game.